We are so glad that you've chosen to join us today by listening to this message. We hope it blesses you and encourages you. We also pray that you understand that this is not a replacement of the local church. We hope that you find yourself in a local body of believers to be encouraged the way God has planned to knit us together in the local church. We hope you enjoy the next 30 minutes. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Welcome everyone to Foundation Church, those of you in person and those of you online. It's so good to see you today. So good to be back in person after a couple weeks off due to some things like freezing of Texas, which was not expected, but we survived. I see everyone, and I know you're out there, so way to go. We did it. I'm proud of everyone. Today, I'm just going to share personal things, personal struggles to start off the message. And this stuff is hard for me. And sometimes a message, you prepare it and you realize God was just for you, and you needed to learn this, and you needed to grow, and you needed to hear it. So I hope this resonates with you. This really resonates with me. So that's how the Lord was speaking this to me this week. So Cervantes said, "I think, therefore I am." My life, I've had kind of a thing where it's I lose, therefore I'm always seeking some affirmation outside of where I should. I'll just give you some background on it. This is something that I struggle with personally. It's some insecurities in me. For sure. So this didn't really happen until I went to public school in 8th grade, because in homeschool, nobody's a loser. Everybody wins when you're in homeschool, right? If you've done any homeschooling or were homeschooled yourself, you know we're all huge winners when we're homeschoolers. We're all very special. But 8th grade, I hit public school. And, you have all these, you're the best at everything because you've been homeschooled. And, that didn't really go that way for me. I went to a very small country school in rural farming, Texas, with a very small class, and it did not pan out for me well. It was one of those weird deals where I was the point guard on the basketball team and the quarterback of the football team, and had no friends, and nobody liked me. And I got picked on and made fun of a whole bunch. It was a strange deal. My sophomore year in football, I remember there was this one game. We were down 30-0 because our school was exceptionally bad at all things. I don't know why we had a tradition of losing, and we're down 30-0. It's like a couple minutes left in the third quarter, and I was the quarterback on the JV. Again, this shows my athletic prowess. I was in a tiny bad school, and I was a sophomore on JV, so I wasn't exceptional. But they let me start throwing the football. This was a while back. There was no spread offense. This was run the option sort of bit. They let me start throwing the football, and in the next quarter and a couple minutes, I threw for 200 yards and 4 touchdowns, and we lost 28-30. Super disappointing. So in our football program, there was always this award to who did well that week, and it's called the Will to Win deal. It's this Gatorade deal. You got this cool swag from Gatorade, and everybody applauded. After that, they one of the, I think, 3 wide receivers that caught touchdowns, one of them got the award, and everybody yeah, and moved him up to varsity and all that sort of stuff. And my coach didn't even say a single word to me about anything I did in that game. I had one other coach from the varsity walking by, said, "Hey, you started throwing the ball good there in the fourth quarter." That's what I got out of that. It probably was a record for our school. I have no idea. They didn't keep stats. It was real small. And then a year in basketball, I led the team in every statistical category. And at the end of the year, they gave it to a 6th man. They gave that same award and made everybody clap for him because he was so consistent. It's man, I don't know, it's funny, but it's something I've gone through a lot in life that's put me in a certain place that's unenviable. In the junior year, all of a sudden we're back in football, and I can throw the ball okay. I'm pretty good, but I'm the backup, and they have this other guy in my class who's a junior also, but he's really good at running the football, and he came to me. He's like, "I wish you were the quarterback." It's like, yeah, man, I know. Those times when the stadium was chanting my name to put me in and stuff, and no, I never got to play that year, really. I think I played for 4 minutes as the quarterback. And so much so that one of the coaches almost got fired over arguing with the head coach about me. And so all I got out of all that bit was one coach one time said, "You're handling this well." And that's just part of the story. I started doing bands when I was like 16. I started doing bands when I was 13. I was in rock bands from 13 until like 2 years ago, I guess, or something. It's some form of band. And so I had this band, and I had this best friend in high school that I taught how to play guitar, and then he had a band. Well, my band, we tried and tried and tried. We played some big shows, did some things, but we never made it. We never got successful. Now, my friend who I taught how to play guitar, his band went multi-platinum and toured the world and became very famous. And I was like, why don't I ever win? Why am I always on the losing end of things? Why is my story never... And then, after doing that bit, and it took me a long time to give up the band dream because, man, the guy I taught how to play guitar is famous and touring the world. Why can't I make it? And then, church planting. We plant. We have huge plans. And there's another guy who's a buddy of mine, acquaintance, but I know him pretty well. And he planted at the exact same time in New Braunfels. Within a year and a half, they were running 300 in their church, and they baptized 80 or 90. I'm not saying anything about you guys. You guys are awesome. I'm so glad you're here. Remember, this is not about you. It's about me. So don't make this about you. All right? But again, when you've had all those things in life build upon, like you're not going to get recognized. You're never going to really succeed. It just starts building this thing in your head. And then the worst, most personal one is every time my wife's alarm goes off at 1 a.m. Why does she have to do that? Well, because I have 2 incurable diseases that cost us a lot of money, so she has to go work at HEB at 2 a.m. every day so that we can afford insurance because I still can't fully provide enough money for all those things. Still not. So I find myself a lot of times in a place I'm the little kid saying, "Hey, look at me, affirm me, see that I'm doing a good job," to tell me I'm good at stuff. Tell me it works, because in my eyes, I've never really been successful at anything. I've never really, that's the thing I was excellent in. But see, I know I'm not alone in these feelings. I know plenty of you guys have felt the same way because you have this mythical person that you're chasing or this mythical standard that we're trying to attain to that we've put over ourselves. We can constantly keep reminding ourselves how we're not that and we didn't do it good enough and we haven't made it. And so we have this thing over us, and I've wrestled a lot with this verse, 2 Corinthians 10:18. So something I just had to really fight with is for it's not the one who commends himself who is approved, but the one whom the Lord commends. And what does it look like? Does it look for people telling me I've made it and I've done it and being successful in my own eyes versus God saying you're doing what I've asked you to do, you're doing it right? And just that tension in me. So it begs the question in my own life, is my love for God stronger than my insecurities? And it's something we all have to face. Is our love for God stronger than our insecurities? Sorry, I didn't mean for that to get that heavy that soon, but we're in John chapter 2. If you want to turn with me there or look it up in your phone or follow on the screen. We're in John chapter 2 today, finishing up chapter 2 as we preach through the Gospel of John. We're doing the last 3 verses in John chapter 2, and it goes like this. It says, "Now when he was in Jerusalem at the Passover feast, many believed in his name when they saw the sign that he was doing, the signs that he was doing. But Jesus on his part did not entrust himself to them because he knew all people and needed no one to bear witness about man, for he himself knew what was in man." Now, I know that doesn't bring up a lot for you. It's just this situation kept happening in Jesus' ministry a lot, where people were like, they believed in him and they wanted something big to happen, but he said he turned them down. Jump with me to John 6 real fast, kind of get some more context for what's going on. This is the standard scene for Jesus' ministry. In John 6:15, it says this: "Perceiving then that they were about to come and take him by force to make him king, Jesus withdrew again to the mountain by himself." So listen to this statement. We are on this Love Strong sermon series. Jesus loved strong by not allowing rejection by society or popularity to change him. And he continued to entrust himself to God. He did not allow rejection of failure or popularity, fame, and everything going right. He didn't allow either of them to change him. He kept entrusting himself to God for his validation. Now, the interesting thought here, it says he said he knew what was in man, what was in the heart of man. And we read John 6:15, it's like they wanted to take him and force him to be the king. So I had this little object lesson for us right here. So they were going to force him to be the king, but it says Jesus knew what was in man's heart, so he didn't entrust himself to them. So what's in man's heart, right? What's in my heart? Well, when somebody tries to make me the king, what do? Heck yeah, man. Where's my chariot and my cape? Let's go. You know, like, of course I'm the king. Finally, somebody recognizes my value. Somebody understands how good I am at this. Like, jump in line behind me. I'll lead you guys. Let's go get it, right? Because that's what's in man's heart. God knew what was in man's heart. And so when they're trying to force him to be the king, when they're trying to just go, let's go do this, he said, I'm not going to entrust myself to you because I know what's in your heart. What's in man's heart? We are selfish and self-serving. Why do I want affirmation? Why do I want people to tell me I've done good? Why do I want to be the leader in this? Is it so more people get helped? Is it so God gets more glory? No, it's for my own personal ego. That's why I desire these things. Because I want street cred. I want affirmation by humanity. That's why I want these things. When we say God knew what was in humans' hearts, Jesus knew what was in their hearts. He knew that we are wishy-washy. We change all the time. So check this out. John chapter 2 we just read, it says many believed in him, but he didn't entrust himself to them because he knew what was in their hearts. John 6:15, like we read, it says right then, because of everything he was doing, they were going to force him to make him king. He backed out. Then we go to the end of John 20, and they're screaming, crucify him. These are the people that we're wanting affirmation from when things are going, come on, give me credit, put me in the position I deserve. But they're also the same kind of people like us, could flip on a dime and go from, man, let's make you king to like, you need to be killed. When I entrust myself to humans, I open myself up to endless disappointment and great potential calamity, right? When I entrust myself, give my emotions, give my thoughts to human validation, to people like, I need you to carry me because I'm falling down over here. I need you to pick me up. And when I entrust myself to humanity around me and I'm not going to be okay unless they give me what I need, we have to realize like Jesus did. He's like, I know what's in man's heart. He knew in just a few months from this passage, it's going to be crucify him. He knew that about humanity. And so when I say this is for me and I keep thinking through it, like why am I still wanting street cred, the world's affirmation, the world's attention, the world's credibility? You know, because a lot of us still are pursuing that crown. Right, wherever you're at in your job, in your home, in your hobby that you're trying to turn into a YouTube channel or whatever that is, right? Whatever that thing is, like this is what we're after. We want to be offered the crown by the world. And this is the crown the world offers you when you serve it well, when you serve its interests, when you serve the world's system. This is going to be offered to you, right? And we know what's in humanity. We don't say, we're not Jesus and saying, don't make me the king. I'm going to step back and stay humble. We're going to put that sucker on and where are my servants? Like, let's go. So this is the crown the world's going to offer you when you serve the world and its people and its systems. But this is the crown the world's going to offer you if you're going to serve God and his kingdom and his systems And this is why Jesus did not entrust himself to humanity, because he knew what was in their heart, because he knew this was the crown they were ended up giving him. And this is a struggle and a battle in our lives. Guys, because choosing the right crown is not a one-time event. It's not a one-time event. And it takes very strong love to choose the right crown. It says this in Luke 9:23. If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. Daily, these things are presented to us. Do I want the world's affirmation, the world's attention, the world's credibility, the world saying you did great? Or am I pursuing a different affirmation, the one who the Lord commends is truly commended, as we read in 2 Corinthians 10. This has been very hard for me to process through this week. And here's the thing about these two crowns. The day, if you've come to the place where you surrendered your life to Jesus, you said, that's it, I'm out. I can't do this. I'm giving my heart to Jesus. I'm giving it all to him. If you have at any time experienced that, you knew which crown you were choosing and you did it gladly. You knew you were choosing this crown and you said, I'm in. I don't care. I will take up my cross daily to follow him. I will deny myself. I don't care. I'm all in. But however, here's the way we try to live a lot of times. I want them both. Can't I have them both? Isn't it okay, as long as I started with Jesus, to now then want all this world's affirmation and credit and all these things, this affirmation, this pat on the back, this well done from the world? Can't I have them both? And you can't live this way. That's not sustainable, but we see that so much in our own lives and in the Christian world and in the Christian walk. We see that played out over and over again. So the question that we're left with is, when it's all said and done, who do we want to hear, well done, good and faithful servant, from? My boss? Obviously, I don't want to be a bad employee. It's not the worst. But it's obviously not the primary goal. From my spouse? Yeah, you should love and serve your spouse very well, 100%. Still not the ultimate goal. From the world, do we want the world? Do we want to finish well and have where somebody wants to do a big memorial for us and put us on TV and say, look at the life this person lived, wow. What? Or is it from the King? Is it from Jesus when we get there and he says, well done, good and faithful servant? Look with me in James chapter 1. James chapter 1, verse 12 says this, blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial, for when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life, which God has promised for those who love him. Receive the crown of life to those who loved him. Guys, the race that is run, the life that is lived, it says, will remain steadfast under trial and receive the crown of life at that time in the end. Well, there's crowns that are worn on this earth and there's crowns that are worn on that earth, and this crown is the one that leads to that crown. And this crown does not. Where are we putting in our focus, our energy, our attention to receive rewards, to get credit, to be affirmed, to be commended? Where is that? Where is our heart on that? Which crown are we chasing? So here's the thing. This crown takes really strong love. Jesus was offered this crown a lot. And he turned it down for this crown because he loved you, because he loved me, because he knew I would be classified in my own head as a loser, somebody that will never win. But he died for that, to change that. And if you pursue the Christ that wore that crown on earth, you will receive the crown of life in eternity. Look, I know a lot of y'all have lived under what I've lived under. Why do I fail? Why am I not good enough? Why does everybody have more than me? Why was I not created like that person? Why do I not have these abilities inside of me? Why can't I live up to my dad's standard or my mother or my granddad or that athlete or this person in my workplace? And we live underneath that, but I want you to know it's not the life Christ died for you to have. And it's not the affirmation that he wants you to pursue. This means a lot to me that you would understand that, because it means a lot to me that I would understand that. You don't need to live underneath that weight anymore. Jesus came to set us free. Says he's the one on the last day that'll say, well done, good and faithful servant, when we serve him. And it's not the one that's commended by himself or commended by the world that's truly commended, but the one the Lord commends is truly commended. And one of these crowns is not particularly comfortable to wear, but it leads to what is good and what is right and what is best. And this is a great picture when Jesus said, the road that leads to destruction is broad and easy, and many find it. And the road that leads to life is narrow and difficult. Few find it. Jesus came that we don't have to stay this way, guys. He came to set us free. So the question I would say, are you ready to be free from needing the world's approval? Are you ready to be free from self-doubt? Are you ready to live the life of freedom that you're called to in Christ? Are you ready to step into the strong love of Jesus? Because there is no magic potion. There is no special thing you have to perform. There is only surrender. There is only giving your heart fully to Christ daily. Take up your cross, deny yourself daily. So I want you to know, if you've struggled at all like I have, with insecurity and doubt of yourself, a little bit of fear, a little bit of hopelessness. I'll always be this way. I'll never be good enough. I'll never add up. I'll never really be used or really matter. Other people matter. They do big things, but not me. Then Jesus is the answer to that, because those that serve him receive him and his rewards, and it's very different from the world. So you don't have to hold yourself to that standard you've been holding yourself to, because that was never his standard for you. So I hope today we can find some freedom and some relief from these impossible mythical things we've put above us that we're not adding up to, and just place ourselves into the loving hands of Jesus and let him tell us who he would have us be and how he would have us be. Let's pray.